I talk to the Christian leaders about their interest, they're highly committed and very interested. They do a lot of homework. I think part of the challenge is because of how busy they are and because of the structure, they fall into the category of what you might call the undercover boss problem. And that's a TV show where they take a CEO from the C-suite, take them down into the company to go through training like a new recruit. Nobody in the company knows who they are. And they get to experience what it's really like to be here, what it's really like to go through a class, or what it's really like to eat in the cafeteria. They experience it not as the boss, because whenever the boss comes in, everybody changes behavior. And so you never see what's really going on. So I think the challenge for leaders is to see the shadow culture. And we do a lot of work in shadow culture. And our definition for culture is it's what happens when you're not there. That's culture. It's the invisible attitudes, habits, values, and behaviors that really run the place when you're not there. It's the hardest thing for leaders to really see, not because they don't want to see it. It's a structural thing, and it's a time schedule thing. That is when leaders get to do that, and when they come into our Mindshift process, they do. I mean, we go to the streets of South Central LA. We go into Columbus, Indiana, and you have to see the raw experiences that are going on, what's really working and what's not. Too often we buy into our own marketing, and we and we don't really see how the sausage is really made, so to speak. And I think that would help leaders a lot, is to really see it for what it is. Christian schools have fewer resources for the most part. I mean, there's some really great, well-resourced Christian schools that I've been to. Ironically, they are the most risk-averse of the batch. They are most rooted in traditional Gutenberg education. And my concern is that we're really not, if we're competing with the education in the world, our product, so to speak, how do we compete? It's a little bit like the movie Moneyball, where it was about the Oakland A's, and they were a third-tier baseball team, payroll 1/10 the Yankees or the Texas Rangers, and they were still having to put a competitive team. And all of their scouts were around the table trying to solve the problem of losing some marquee players and how do we replace them. And it's an exercise in futility. And so the coach, Billy Beane, let them kind of go around, well, we need to replace this, we need to get these runs. And the bottom line is what he said is, okay, everyone, we can't win playing their game. We have to play a different game. Churches can't win playing the public education game. They just don't have the resources. They don't have the social capital. They have a lot of mission and purpose and vision. But what that's producing are burnt-out, tired teachers. And when I talk to Christian educators and teachers, they're tired. And they feel like they have to wear a burden that they shouldn't have, because they're working in a model that's obsolete. I mean, it's a Gutenberg model. And there's a lot more effective ways, and there's more around kind of the relational side of education that we're just not tapping into. So I think we're at a significant crossroads. When you look at Christian schools in general, you've got the charter school challenge, you've got the voucher challenge in some states, and then you've got public education that we're all competing against. And then a lot of Christian schools are really not tied tightly to their church, so they're a little bit of an island. And they're competitive in their own market. I've been in local Christian school gatherings, and they're not really interested or feel comfortable sharing, well, this is what we do with this program here, because they're afraid of, if I lose one or two kids because of that. It's dysfunctional, and we've got to get a handle on that. In the first place is that the leaders locally have to begin talking together and functioning with a common mission for the community. We're so resource starved that we're focusing on short-term issues and our survival here. And what we don't realize is that the only way we're going to survive is if we work collectively for the good of the communities that we're in. Salt and Light, not ghettos of Salt and Light, but we take it outside of our little bunkers. And we really do transformational work, and we have the confidence to do that. And I find a lot of times the Christian schools lack confidence of what they really have to bring to the community.